Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
All right.
Here we are. You're in your pajamas. You're psyched.
Oh, my God. This is how I want to live my life.
We come to you.
I know, and I'm in my pajamas.
It's the way it ought to be.
I'm in my sleeping bra. It's all good, man. I've never been happier.
That damn sleeping bra. I swear to God, that creeps me out.
You know, when
doesn't have anything to do with me.
When I read of people that talk about how they're depressed and they don't leave the house for like 4 days, I'm like, oh, that sounds wonderful.
Right.
I would love something like that.
Yes. Sure, it'd be great if
no showers, no. Oh my God! Please sign me up.
Exactly. Except for every time I like the first day. You know how you get back off the road and you just want to just chill for no time. Mm-hmm. I just want to nest.
Yes.
I end up making like 2 giant meals that we can eat off of for the week. And I usually clean something.
Yeah.
In an effort. And then I sit at my computer and stare at the different places where there is dust in my home and think about moving furniture and dusting and then never do.
I love moving furniture.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
I keep meaning to bring you recycled electronics.
Well, because I recycle
you like
them?
to recycle.
You could drive 2 feet further and go to the recycling center.
Come on, where is it? I don't even know where it is. I literally have a box that's going.
Well, bring it to me. It keeps me up at night thinking of all the things that get tossed into the trash island in the Pacific.
Right,
we could give them to the recycling
Blue
people.
Whale, 35 pounds worth of garbage in its
No, I think it was more than
35 pounds.
It might have been tons. I don't know.
It might have been, yeah, because it's
not
tons
35
big,
tons,
and then
whatever it was.
It was a lot of garbage. It killed the whale.
Horrifying.
Let's stop being monsters. And,
what are we doing? What are we doing to this planet?
I don't know, but I have a new bit where I actually last night I tried that flappers. I did 3 sets last night.
Nice. That's pretty good in LA.
Sure. I 8 p.m. at the Flappers, at 9:30 over at Jones Coffee over in Pasadena.
Oh, that's
it was
such
the
a sweet
bitch face.
gig.
It's a sweet gig, and 2 of them paid, and then the last one was a Twitch a set on Twitch for Geek and Sundry, which is, you know what Twitch is because you have a boy.
No, he's not on Twitch.
What was he just watching?
He was watching YouTube.
Was that a YouTube? Oh, that was a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's Twitch? I mean, I know it's something, but I don't know how to
Twitch, please.
Participate.
Where people can watch Let's Play videos live.
Okay.
Like those YouTube videos, but happening live.
But happening live.
So you did a set that disappeared immediately?
Well, Geek and Sundry has actual programming on Twitch.
Yeah.
And so this is a show that's on Twitch.
Is that on Burbank on Magnolia? Geek and Sundry?
No, it's
I'm thinking of Geeky
it's where the new Nerdist studios are going to be.
Okay. Yes.
It's so essentially the last
So it's not
week,
at my house?
No, it's not at your.
Darn it. Come on, guys. Come on over.
How great would that be?
Oh, my God.
Can I just
running a podcast studio out of my garage?
Wait a minute. Mark Maron.
Oh, my. There is a successful business model
exactly
to look to. Oh, my God.
Exactly. And, but, yeah, so I was there for a show called Fangirling.
Yeah.
With people whose names escape me.
Yeah.
And then they were all very nice, by the way. Let me talk about how great they were. You know how
she
sad
goes,
it is.
opening a book.
I'm opening a book because it was Christina Wong and Anna Valenzuela, who I've had breakfast with twice since we did the show, actually.
Yes.
And
bringing Kleenex
Anna
over.
Valenzuela. And just in case I tear up.
No. I
You have issues?
An indelicate nose situation right now.
Indelicate?
Yeah, just keep pointing it out.
I didn't. Wait, what happened? How did I get?
I don't know.
How did I become the villain?
You're.
And
That's why. That's how all my conversations end. I look for a target.
Exactly. It wasn't me. And bam! It's you.
I hope to escape notice while the person feels shame.
Exactly. So I this week I was depressed. I was super depressed.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any work in July and August. But guess what? I need to lie down. Don't take any work in July and August. fucking lie down.
If it doesn't happen, you'll still be financially okay.
Yes, and I'm just worried.
If you have a few things trickle in,
right?
You have a couple of maintenance months.
Well, that's what I was like. There's plenty of sort of. If I remember and figure out where those $100 gigs are around town, I'll be fine.
Right.
And it's fine. I have a prudent reserve. I've been saving money.
Yeah.
And so it's fine. But I also, I'm going to Vietnam and Cambodia for 20 days.
But to fight a war, that's what's weird.
Well, that is weird.
We haven't been there in decades yet.
In decades, but I've decided to go back to the Ho Chi Minh Trail and find my bike that I left there in 1972. What?
I don't know. It's amazing backstory on a riff. Jeez.
It's been sitting in my back pocket for decades.
You're waiting for someone to say the right
waiting for someone
thing.
for talking about Vietnam. So yeah, we're gonna. A friend of mine is. She is. Her and her husband. They both got laid. Their work just got concocted, and she's like, let's travel around the world as cheaply as possible. Mm-hmm. And so the first step that they're doing is this weird sort of like tour. It's a tour.
Yeah.
With an overnight train and an overnight boat. And we're going to start in Hanoi and end up in Bangkok and travel around. And I'm going to get to see Angkor Wat, and I'm going to sadly get to see the Killing Fields, which, you know what? Who is sadder to see the Killing Fields? The people who were killed. So why don't I suck it up and go see that and what Augie Smith calls the saddest attic in the world. I've never been to Amsterdam, but if I ever go.
That's what I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my kid this summer.
Take him to the saddest attic in the world.
Well, you have to plan that like 4 years in advance.
Oh, because of
Anne Frank.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think you have months. You'll be fine. But
I mean, do we? If
you could just send him to Amsterdam when he's 18, and he would like you more.
Pot is legal here, unless you want my son to be doing heroin in a cafe.
No, hashish and I don't know. There's noodly ladies all over the place.
You know what? Why don't you have a son and let him do all that? Okay, Jesus.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to sexualize and drug eyes your son. You're like, hey, he's 11. Leave him alone.
He's 11. He's watching an Irish guy play Subnautica. Leave him alone, please.
It's true. So I was all depressed. So I went out and I not only did stand up, I also went out and watched some stand up, which is weird. I know it. That is, of course, the correct response.
Awful.
I'm not going to lie to you. No, it was, because it's maddening to go watch other people do stand up on a show you were not booked.
Right. I mean, so you weren't waiting in the wings for your spot. You were.
No.
What? Are you and Andy having problems?
No.
Okay.
He was already off playtesting something he's working on.
Okay.
And he has a new game, by the way, on the telephone. The telephone? Interesting. So it's you go to the App Store, get yourself something called Adventure Gnome.
Oh, neat.
And it's a tap.
GNOME.
That's it, like a gnome. And then he was working on something, and so I had gone. I don't know where the hell I was, but it was Tuesday, and so I ended up over at Bruce Daniels' Akbar on Sunset and Fountain.
That's a great room.
That's a great room, and on Tuesdays it was great, and I got to see Wanda Sykes working on her GLAD jokes. Because she was hosting the GLAD Awards.
Awesome.
Awards. GLAD has 2 A's, folks. And just going to let everybody in on it. Mm-hmm. And but it was a hell of a show. It was James Adomian and
Jesus. Who did he do?
Kevin
did he do
Avery.
any impressions?
Here's the great thing, is that when I said I went to watch some comedy, I saw Bruce Daniels' set. It was very funny.
Yeah.
I saw Wanda Sykes' set. It was also very funny.
Right.
In between, I went and I got a sandwich with Rob Elk, who is a comic from Minneapolis.
Uh-huh. And
I got it to go, but he was sitting down with his wife, whose name is so Norwegian, I literally just wanted to call her umlaut. And which, of course, super sensitive. German? I don't know what it was. It was a lot.
Do Norwegians don't they have like an O with a
but it started
like
with
a
an
spear
oo.
through it or something?
An oo. Her name started with an oo.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
it's great being a guest on your podcast, Jackie. I've only said oh, really interesting.
Have a Kleenex. I don't mean to, if you're going to tear up on me. What'd you do?
Oh, thank you. Oh no, there's no need.
You know
We're
what?
20 minutes
There's a guy
in.
who's keeping a chart, by the way, of exactly how long we do this show. Why don't we have him take a chart of how long you talk and how long I talk?
Excuse me, Senator Filibuster.
There's the name.
Nancy Pelosi. I was in Tahoe last week.
Oh, right, with Dax Jordan, right?
Yes,
And,
and Joe Gosh.
Okay.
It's not it's Gotch maybe
Okay.
or Gosh. All I
was
know
it?
is I said let's hear it for Dax and Joe. That's
That's how you sum that up.
It was fun. It was it's weird. Like Lake Tahoe is so beautiful, and I was like, why didn't I raise my kid here? He'd be like scampering like a squirrel amongst pine trees.
No, he'd be sitting watching YouTube in a more beautiful surrounding is what it would be. And I don't know if you've looked around. It's gorgeous. Your surroundings.
Yeah.
Look at your yard. Look at
Concrete. It's concrete. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
my point is people there are laid back. Like the pool, it's like an old city pool
We
in
always
South Lake
get to
Tahoe.
the pool. Yeah.
And it was like concrete locker rooms. It was built in the 60s. I was like, I love these things, and it reeks of chlorine. Like I got out my
literally, concrete
my
here is
skin
bad.
reeked of chlorine.
It's just such a nostalgic moment for you.
Yes,
You're just like,
this is where I spent my childhood.
the carcinogens just soaking through
Chlorine? No.
What?
It's a cleaner. It cleans you. It cleans your soul. It washes your sins away. It really does.
Wow. That was the last time you were at the Catholic Church. That's your Catholic Church.
It really is. And there's like 1 or 2 people per lane at the most. And the liberal hours, and it's only $6. It's like they don't know they could charge more. I swear to God, this is if you know how you and I were like, man, if we had been able to buy a house in Portland or an apartment in Portland in the 90s when we were working there, we'd be millionaires now, right? I
Right.
swear to God, South Lake Tahoe is that place.
Oh, so now's the time?
Because the housing is mostly old. They don't have a ton of construction. They have a little bit, but not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel like everyone's going, hey, wait a minute, we should start building here.
Right.
It feels like this is the time to get in there if you can.
Right, if you have sitting
If
on
you
a
have,
Scrooge
if you're
McDuck
sitting
pile
on
of
money.
Yeah.
But it's so, and there's a lot. It's just like it has a 70s vibe to it. Like a lot of the restaurants are really old, and it's a tourist town. So like there's a lot of people that just work. They work the snow in the winter and the lake in the summertime, and so it's just like that kind of a waitress who's been at Heidi's Pancake House for 30 years or something
right.
like that.
Right. Have you ever been in Nevada City, California?
Probably.
I did a film festival there and did. By the way, did you do stand up in Tahoe? All we were talking about is the pool.
Well, yeah. Then you immediately got bored and turned it back to your film festival times in Nevada
City, California is a lot like that. Where
Yeah.
you're just like, if anybody ever finds this town, and the people of Nevada City, if anyone's listening, is like, shut up.
Yeah.
We're trying. We're living under the radar.
No,
It's like,
if
why
they
have
own a
comedy?
house, they want it because they
Yeah.
want now their property values raise.
It's just essentially it's a Mill Valley, but northern California, but more northern.
Yeah,
And,
that's nice. Well, anyway, the one show a night.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or just Friday, Saturday?
It's Wednesday through Sunday.
Oh, it's a full week.
One show a night. Real
What?
easy. So that means there's like no
Which club
excuse
is
not
it?
to hike. It's the Improv and Harvey's.
Is it Bert?
Is it what?
Who is that?
The
Who's
Improv.
running that? Is that Live Nation book? Is that Aaron?
Levity.
Is it Levity? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
So no, essentially,
you
is
don't know
what
that.
No, except for I ask, and so far, no. But
Yeah, but
you know,
Jackie,
hope
did
springs
you ask
eternal.
before the heat of this podcast turned your career on fire?
On fire, you guys. I'll go back to the well. It turns out, as always.
We had 2 podcast fans there, both
cool.
males. I swear we must only have a male. Judging by who comes to the show, it's dudes.
A lot of dudes. Well, the thing is they're the dudes who have always liked stand-up comedy and always liked women comics and have not been like, I only watch dude comics. There's like, they're the decent guy, because it can be super bro-y, obviously.
Comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I think we pointed that out.
I think that's been
for
established.
a year and a half straight.
It's been established, and I remember, more than 100 times.
Yeah.
Somebody has come up to me and said, usually I don't like women comics. But,
right.
And it's usually a dude.
Yes.
Though, when I first got those cards, the first person who said it to me right after I got those cards was a very old woman who said, usually I don't like women comics, but you're great. It was in Reno, attached to Tahoe. And I said, oh my God, I have something for
Everything
you.
you're saying tracks with the description of this woman in Reno, old.
Yeah, out of
doesn't
her
like
damn
female
mind.
comics.
And then me saying, wait here. and she did. I had to go to the green room, get the cards, because I didn't have money.
Oh, that's right.
And then I gave-
Your card, your list of women.
Yeah, the list
Okay.
of, hey, I just told Jackie Cation that women aren't funny, but
Oh
she
my
was.
God, that's great.
Yeah, you're on that. It was before we did this podcast, and I didn't know what a monster you were. And so...
So now when you hand them off, there's a big cross out in the middle that's my
Redacted.
name has been sharpied out. You can't. There's no way to see it.
Exactly. No, but it just says, I just told Jackie Cation that I don't like women comics, and she gave me this card. Here's a list of
I
7
love
women
it.
comics who are just as funny, and but different than Jackie Cation and each other. And then there's a list of this first 7 people that were funny on the internet that day.
Oh my God.
And then there's a place to write your own, and then there's a place to number them.
Oh my
And
God.
I've given out 104.
I want that. That's just a great thing to have with your merch.
Yeah,
for
and
free.
and it's on the back. On the back, it has all of my information.
Dude, that's genius.
It's a card. Yeah, it's pretty mellow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I sold books and so the first night.
Yeah.
I sold like 1 or 2 books, and and then I remember I
Wednesday,
have to learn how to sell Dead People Suck to people that don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And because and come up with maybe just tell a few jokes from it or read or just say something quick because people go aw.
Right.
And then Shitty Mom, it gets a laugh just on the title, right?
Right.
But so one of the show, I don't know, I sold out by Friday night.
What?
Yes, and I was because
many did you-
So after the first show,
Like
some
20?
old woman comes out, and I'm mad because I don't like her, so I called her old, but she was. But had she been cool, I would have been. This cool chick comes out. She holds up my book and she goes, ugh, and she puts it down. I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
Did you say that?
No.
Okay, of course not. Because you weren't on stage. It's almost impossible to say "fuck you, bitch" off stage.
If you could, have you?
Yes.
There's situations where you're like, oh man, if we were in a club, I would fucking murder you right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then,
And then when we
you're out in
retire,
public, sadly.
we're going to be in situations where people, we won't be able to act like how we want to act when we're in our 80s. Maybe we will because we'll be 80. You can act like a comic in your 20s when you're 80 all the time.
Right.
probably.
The speculation is that you can do whatever you want when you're in your 80s.
Yeah, we're just
Because-
gearing up for some wild elderly years.
right. You can do whatever you want then. It's I don't know. Did we record after I did Waukegan with Maria? And I
Oh
saw
my God,
my great
this
aunt.
gig. Oh yeah, no wait, I don't think so. I've heard
my great aunt.
the word Waukegan.
We have
for
not.
7 podcasts in a row.
Oh, 7 podcasts in a row. Well, it was fascinating, and it remained so, and it was really fun actually. But so I pick up my great aunt, and my dad, and we're sitting at breakfast, and my dad is just hitting on the waitresses and then trying to tell us stories and then hitting on the waitress and telling a story.
I can't imagine this. That your dad hitting. I can't imagine my dad hitting on.
Oh,
people,
my father is
women at all.
a different person.
I know.
I think
I know.
entirely.
But I mean, it's he's still your dad. You love him. He's still your dad. It's
Sure,
just
there's nothing
he's a
to be-
different kind of dude.
He's a different kind of dad, and blessedly not an elbow squeezer. And but it was, but my great aunt is 90, and
Is that your birth mother's sister?
No, I don't have any aunts actually. She's actually my first cousin. What would she be? She's my dad's first cousin. His mom and her mom were
I don't
sisters.
know, but someone will tell you.
Right, and feel free to not tell me. I mean, I can't. I've tried to figure it out a couple of times, and then
Okay.
I stopped caring in the middle of trying to figure it out.
Okay.
She's super old. She's very awesome, and she was
Armenian or Irish?
Armenian.
Oh.
and the Irish side doesn't talk to us.
That's very Irish.
It feels nice and Irish. The Armenians will torment you till you're dead. They're just like, oh no, we're related. Like my cousin Darnell and her name is Darnell. Flurry, she is essentially my Aunt Alice's daughter-in-law. And Darnell is incredibly nice and incredibly... She just... and she loves-
Nelle, Darnell?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And so a flurry of text messages... And she's also incredibly... She loves that I do stand-up and thinks I'm famous and thinks... yeah. And is constantly like, we're so proud of you. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. And so allow me to stop talking to you. But she sent me this... She was like, Alice is really tired, probably can't go out to breakfast with you. So that morning I was like, so do you want to... Alice, you don't have to come. I will come and get you if you want to go out to breakfast. And she's like, I have to get... It's like everybody. She's like, I have to get out of this house. I don't feel well. I'm 90, going to be 91.
Yeah.
And but if I don't get out of this house, I'm going to kill myself.
Oh, man.
So I picked her up, and there's no. She's just such a cool old lady.
Okay.
I want to be her because she worked until like 2 years ago,
Oh, my God.
20 hours a week.
Yeah, that's what my dad was doing.
Yeah.
20 hours a week at a consulting firm.
She worked at an old people's home. She was like, I'm working at this old people's home. And I was like, well, what are you at 88? What's happening? And she's like, well, I just answer the door and let everybody in and answer the phone.
That's where the money is, old people.
Yeah.
In terms of like jobs of the future. I'm
For
trying
us-
to get my son that way.
At least for a second.
Yeah.
And then they all die.
and then we're all going to die.
We're all going to die. There's
In
so
a
many people.
Hail of Trump bullets.
You're right, I know.
So the shows were fun. They were it's a casino crowd.
Yeah.
And so I feel it's a lot of people that haven't been to stand up before or are just
believe they bought your
wandering
books.
around
Yeah.
and found the show. You
Right.
know what
They're
I
just
mean?
there for the weekend
Yeah.
to lose a couple $100 and see the
Yeah,
mountains.
yeah.
And,
And then one night on Saturday we started late because there was an MMA fight playing in the improv on
Oh
the
my
screens.
God.
Yeah,
Oh, on the
yeah.
screens.
So we
Okay.
so of course it started more like 11 and stuff, but that's the only time it felt like a real comedy club because it was messy.
the last time that happened to me, when they delayed something, it was the OJ chase.
Oh my God.
It was that white truck going on the highway. Whatever that was.
Here's my Monday.
Yeah.
I just have to complain about this. Okay. So Sunday night I leave, I drive for like 2 hours
Oh,
to
right.
Sacramento, right?
To take your red eye to...
Yes. So I check in and I check into the Super 8 in West Sacramento because I'm only going to sleep for a couple hours, so I don't want to spend money.
No.
I want to go the cheapest possible. I go into the hotel room. I open the bathroom door. Cockroach is running away from me.
Yeah.
So
You can't stay.
No, I head back down and I said I need another room on the other side of the building because there's cockroach.
Yeah.
And so he gives me one on the other side of the hallway, and I do a thorough search, and then I sleep
Fitfully.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just feel things crawling
Just
on
an
me.
eyeball.
Yes.
And were there cigarette burns in the
Possible. It just smelled. It smelled awful.
It smelled like a
was,
Super 8.
Yes. And
But it should have been, and granted, by the airport, it may not have even been cheap.
it wasn't even that close. It was like still a 15-minute drive. It's named Super 8 Airport.
Yeah.
But I could call this Laurie Airport. Okay.
As far as how close it is to Burbank, yeah.
Whatever. Or say it's
near
LAX.
Los Angeles.
Laurie LAX Airport.
Well, that's 45 minutes.
That's practically what they did.
Wow.
So had to return a rental car. Sacramento is an unnecessarily complicated airport. The rental car, and then you get to the airport, and then you have to take little trains to the gates and
Trains.
It's like you're Sacramento. When did you get this big?
You know what? I've noticed that about the last two airports I was in, Phoenix and
Phoenix is
Milwaukee.
ridiculous.
Phoenix is huge, waiting to boom.
Yes, still waiting. It's been that way since '75.
Exactly. I was like, why is
Fingers
it
crossed.
5 buildings over like a half a mile?
I don't know.
That's
Maybe because
insane.
your residents have an open carry law and they keep shooting each other. That's cutting down
Right.
on your population.
Exactly. And Milwaukee is just poorly organized. It's like,
Is it?
You're across the street from the rental car place, it's in the same terminal area. So you cross like the ground floor streets, and then you get there, and the thing I like about the Milwaukee airport and don't like about the airport, only in this case, is that I love that there is no music playing.
Yeah.
It's when there's the ground floor has no people in it, it's creepy. It's like Westworld. It's like Planet of the Apes. It's empty and spooky.
You know what I noticed about JFK recently? Because I took a lift instead of a cab.
Yeah.
Okay, when you get off at the JetBlue terminal, you can go right outside and order a lift. But if you want to take a cab, you got to walk at least 10 minutes to the cab stand.
Wow.
Yeah, that really sucks
bad
for cab
planning.
drivers.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. And I assumed lifts were around there too. And then for some reason, I forget, I had to go quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is way easier. Sorry, cabbies.
Sorry. Yeah.
Not happening again.
Right. So I get a text message. Next story.
Yeah.
Not related.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So then I sleep and I
Sacramento.
Drive. Landed Burbank, and then I get home. I had to change my flight to an earlier one, to a 6 a.m. flight, or 6:20 or something, because I needed to get back here because my kid had a school assembly at 8 a.m.
Oh gosh.
That I needed to be at.
Oh wow.
Because he drew something. It didn't get picked for the yearbook cover, so that really pissed me off. I'm like, I woke up and I thought his thing was great. I'm like, why? What? Then I looked at the one that did get picked. I'm like, really? I didn't say anything to anyone. I'm only saying it to the podcast.
Right.
And I'm sure, that other parents would have felt the same way. You're a parent. You have no ability to see your children
discern.
realistically. But then I was able to shower and go to work. But I still felt like shit all day.
All day playing catch up.
Awful.
And then did you get a good night's, like, did you have sets on Monday or no?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
The lying down,
took
the
some
sleeping.
10 milligrams of melatonin at 9 p.m. and I was out.
Oh my gosh, what did I hear? Somebody said, Eddie Pepitone has that bit about sleepy time tea.
Yeah.
And I was at some coffee shop and I overheard just some woman in the tone of voice that Eddie Pepitone uses asking another woman, well, have you tried sleepy time tea? And I made eye contact with this other woman.
Ridiculous.
And she goes, that's chamomile. Just whispered the words, that's chamomile. I was like, oh, is it? That makes perfect sense, because that's the thing. So I get a text message from a number I don't recognize.
Yeah.
And it says, hey, can you come to the UCB do this show? We're going to talk about, it's going to be a funny show about sex workers.
Yes.
And do you have
to do sex worker material?
I think it was just riffing about sex workers.
Huh.
I don't know why I was approached, but I said, I'm actually...
Well, you would have sex for money if you needed it, right?
What kind of money? No.
Exactly.
It's now
Never
we're just
say no without a number.
No, I never say no without a number. And with that, I would be picking a large fucking number. Anyway, he wasn't in my phone. And I said, I can't do it. I have another 2 sets that night.
So somebody unknown texts you about sex working,
right? And doing
wants
comedy.
you to show up at a building,
and without without missing a beat, I just go, well, I'd love to do it, but I can't. I can't. And by the way, who is this?
Yeah.
And I get a text back, Owen Benjamin, and
what?
And I was like,
No.
I couldn't remember who that was.
I thought he was holed up in upstate New York, tweeting until he was not allowed to tweet.
And then the next beat, it goes, just kidding, Moshe Kasher.
Oh.
Made me laugh so hard because all I could remember was that Owen Benjamin, the scuttlebutt in my brain, without I don't think I've ever even met the guy, is that he's gross. And I was like, oh, how did he get my phone number?
Oh my God.
I couldn't remember what he did or who he was or whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I texted TJ Miller.
Yeah.
And then moments
did?
later,
you heard about the arrest?
I was like, I won't be getting a response to that.
God.
Because
What
I had
is
just seen
happening?
Ready Player One, and he was great in it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, hey man, you nailed that Ready Player One character. Send.
Oh my God.
Half an hour later, boom, all over the internet.
Wow.
Hey, Junkie Junkerson thought he saw a bomb threat on a subway.
Seems like someone might have an alcohol problem.
Oh, I don't think
Correct?
we're going on a limb that he might have a substance abuse problem, but of course it's none of my business.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
I can judge. I just can't wait for jury duty.
Funny, but there are some problem. It's weird. It's weird. Like when you know the person,
It's really weird.
then it's if you don't know someone, it's way easier to go, fuck that piece of shit.
Throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the list of crimes or
Right, but I've hung out with that
charges-
guy for 45 minutes at a time for 100 times.
Yeah, it's
right. So, I mean, I don't know that would I want to hang out with him for more than 45 minutes? Probably, because he's always been super nice to me, and and his stand up is interesting and funny. Mm-hmm. It's always interesting and funny, but clearly he needs to get. I thought he had gotten his shit together. Because I saw him on this, and I saw him on that movie, and but forgetting that he's of course animated,
Right.
so there's nothing.
He is blessed with scratchy voice.
Right, he's got a real distinctive voice. So when you call in a bomb threat, they're going to recognize your voice.
Oh my
banana
God,
head.
you're right.
And
That's the bad part of being a voiceover machine.
right. The good part is that you get to do it in your pajamas, and probably. And what else happened? I know.
There's the white guy show in Toronto.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Did you find out if that's a?
Well, here's the thing. First, like Kevin Brennan started it at the Cellar in New York. So, and in New York City,
okay.
it's just one of 10,000 shows. And it doesn't
Themed
really
shows,
stand out. You know, it is, it's everyone's trying to do their own thing and trying to get a show people come to, and, you know, some version of a tour you could take, I'm sure, to different, you know, mid-sized theaters and make a little money, right?
Right.
And, you know, Kevin Brennan's got kids, and Aaron Berg just had a baby, you know.
Right.
I mean, people are trying to, you know.
Wait, there's a comic named Aaron Burr?
Berg.
Oh, Berg.
Yeah.
I was like, Aaron Burr. Holy smokes, that's
Not
weird.
everything's Hamilton, Jackie.
My new shirt is.
He's very nice. I work with him all the time at the stand.
Aaron
He's
Berg.
like, yeah, you
Okay.
probably met him if you've worked
I'm sure
the
I
stand.
have. I'm
yeah,
sure. I've met everyone.
and his wife is a comic, Christine Meehan. She's very funny. They just
cool.
they have a newborn, so you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's when everyone gets into hustle time when they have a baby. You're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
holy fucking shit.
Right. Well, I remember Jake Johansson was selling this weird T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I busted his chops about it. He goes, I have a mortgage. Leave me alone. I have a daughter.
He has a daughter. And the reason he has a mortgage is he has a daughter.
Right,
He can't just
right.
be going from sublet to sublet, you know, if possible.
He's like, leave me alone. Get off my areola.
Yeah.
He did not say that. Which is Janelle Monáe
but I
song.
think, you know, it was interesting because they're taking it to Yuck Yucks in Toronto, which I'm not a Canadian comic, and I don't really know. I know I've heard of the Yuck Yucks chains, but I've never worked it, and it seems like you have to be Canadian to work it, really.
What I know about the Yuck Yucks chain, and I don't know if this is still true, is that if you work Yuck Yucks, you cannot work any other gig. And if you do work a gig other than Yuck Yucks, you have to give them 10%. Yuck Yucks.
Ridiculous. And why? And Canadians get this reputation for being so nice. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But
Tell Justin Trudeau what's happening.
it was like
But
two.
I mean,
yeah.
So I go on the Yuck Yucks webpage, which, by the way, was designed in 1987 and is awful. Like, you can't,
Right.
if you look at the calendar, it doesn't show the comics. You have to click on each show, and then a pop-up window comes up.
Wow.
It's totally user unfriendly. It's ridiculous. Like, pay any comic that you're not paying to MC.
Right.
At least pay them to redo your fucking website, because
Right.
it's a piece of shit. But almost every show between now and the end of June is headlined by a white guy. Mm-hmm. And there's one female headliner for the next couple months. Mm-hmm. And so the idea that you'd have a white guys only at a show at a club that seems to only hire white guys anyway, that is disturbing. And it's like,
Right.
you guys don't get the joke. I mean,
Right.
it works in New York because there's a million shows with a million different kind of people.
Right.
And
There's 1,000 shows
there's
that have
also-
a different theme.
the audience in New York is like barely, you know,
Yeah,
it's not a white majority audience,
Right.
but it's a weird, but I understand if you're putting on the show, you're like, hey, please come see it. I have babies to feed. I get it. I don't blame, the comics, to me, you do what you want to do. If you find an
course.
audience, that's great. But it's strange that it's at Yuck Yucks, and I totally understand the people complaining about it, or not complaining, just pointing out what the fuck.
Well,
you know,
and I guess
because it might work in their favor in the long run, because it does highlight the fact that Yuck Yucks is a pretty much a white male comedy club.
Right. Well, did you look at any of those comics that are booked on it and the theme?
I don't
of
know
their
all of
stand-up?
them. No.
The theme of the stand-up was that it was going to make fun of politically correct. It was not going to hold back about race. It wasn't going to hold back about gays. It wasn't going to hold back about women.
Oh,
And you're
good.
like,
Let's get those gays.
yeah, let's get the gays and the women and the
What are
black
they
people.
doing? What are the gays up to? I'm
The
sorry, I didn't realize
gays.
they were doing something.
They're calling them the gays up in Canada. I don't know if you know that. But it was like, I mean, it literally was just
Was
an
it? I
ad
didn't-
for. Yeah, it was a litany of, hey, so this is going to be a lot of shitty, hateful comedy that may or may not
or
be
maybe
funny.
Not.
May
Or
or may not
maybe
be
it's-
funny.
But I mean, it's weird that anyone labels their own comedy. Like, basically, all you're trying to do is get each joke to work in succession and string it out for 45 minutes.
Write that down.
And so some jokes are could be considered politically incorrect. Some of them are just good jokes. Some of them are, a joke is a surprise.
Right,
And
but that's the
but I mean-
theme of the show.
But I mean, that's the theme of the white guy
of the
show?
white guy show. That was on their poster.
Right, sure, that's fine. I thought you meant the theme of every headliner
each of
that
those
was
comics.
there. Oh, each
No.
of the comic. But to me, they're trying to sell out a Tuesday night.
Yes.
And that's fine. I don't care. They can find an audience for
right,
that.
and I don't. Yeah, I mean, whatever
I'm just
show
saying,
you
like, for
want to
the-
do, I don't need to go to it.
Right,
So who
exactly.
cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, to have it at a club that only seems to book white
Is
male
hilarious.
comics is a little ridiculous.
Yes.
but I can see that club not understanding that it's ridiculous because they clearly have a preference for a certain kind
It's
of
like,
comedy.
Well, I would be surprised that they wouldn't be confused. Like the club must be like, why are we calling it that? Oh, is that what you want to? All right, we
I'm
can call
sure
it
they're
whatever you
delighted
want.
to call it that. When do we
so-
call our weekend shows that too? They're probably mad that Kevin Brett had trademarked the name. Come on, let us have it.
Exactly.
Let us call the club that.
I know.
White Male Comedy Club.
White Male Comedy Club. Oh my God! Don't encourage.
But I hope that just like Trump is bringing out 1 million female candidates.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that the attention going to what Yuck Yucks is right now forces them to have more shows that aren't just white dudes. It forces them to be less lazy in their booking, and forces if you create an audience going, yeah, man, we want to see something besides the same old shit.
Mm-hmm.
That then you yourself can create a show,
right,
you know?
because I mean, it does
because
highlight
there's an
the fact
audience
that this
who
is
wants
the
to
same
see
old
something
shit.
else.
Yeah,
Just like
why
there's-
don't they call it that? The same old shit. I wish they'd call that show the same
That's
old.
a great. That's okay. Yuck Yucks. You could take
You can
the
have
same
that.
old shit. You can't have what is it? 3 white males.
I don't know what it's a white male.
You can't have
comedy or
that,
something.
but you
Yeah.
can have the same old shit.
Same old shit. You ever do the San Antonio LOL Club?
Yeah, I've done it once.
I've done it like
It's
3
ridiculous.
times. It's too big.
It's huge.
It's a cavernous
The
thing.
laughs. They don't even make it to the ceiling. They disappear
It's vaulted
halfway
ceilings.
up to the ceiling.
Yeah,
and
it's goofy
Oh
that
my
how big
God.
it is, but the
they're nice
people
people.
are super
Oh,
nice.
yes.
And the
But
74 people
you walk
that
in that
come
warehouse,
to the show.
right? But you're like, this is where I need to store VCRs, not have a comedy show, right?
Right, it's in a mall of bars.
Yeah.
It's like that. But it's called the LOL.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys can have this as an ad campaign. Remember the LOLmo?
Oh my God!
And I was
Jackie,
like, why are you not
you
doing
have to
that?
move to San Antonio and open a comedy club. I'm sorry, your destiny's been laid out before you.
I'm not living in San Antonio. I am going to Texas this week. We're both going
We
to
both
Texas.
will be at Austin at Moon Tower.
Right, we're doing Moon Tower at Austin.
Yeah, we're doing a live Jackie and Laurie.
Yep,
oh,
I'm
that's
doing
right.
a-
We don't have to schedule one this week. Fuck
Right,
yeah.
and I'm doing a live Dork Forest.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing the Dallas Improv and the Addison Improv the days before.
Oh, cool.
Opening for Maria.
Oh, nice.
Last couple of I'm doing that Texas run with her, and
Yeah.
then I'm doing Fresno with her, and I'm doing Cleveland with her.
Fresno. Wow, who books Fresno?
Well, my mother-in-law, she lives
that's
outside
right.
of Visalia. I told
Was
her
Bakersfield unavailable, Jackie and Maria?
I did Fresno one time with Brian Regan.
Yeah.
There's a Fox Theater there that's really, really beautiful. I don't know
sure.
if that's the one we're doing with Maria, but
Yeah.
But yeah, but those are I'm only doing 5 more shows with her this year.
Wow.
Actually, I think I'm opening for her in Austin, but that's just because I happen to be there. Oh,
Yeah.
and San Francisco at Clusterfest because I happen to be there.
Nice.
So there are a couple other places, but I'm not doing any of our East Coast stuff, which is a drag for me, just because it was a free trip to the East Coast.
Yeah, you like it.
And,
Who doesn't like a gig?
right, Portland, Maine. I was looking forward. I've never done stand up in Portland, Maine. Have you ever done?
No.
Yeah, there's a club there, I'm told.
Really?
Yeah. I gotta look into it now. And
Justin
and then,
McKinney lives in Maine, I think. Do you know Justin?
I don't.
He was really funny. He was a former police officer, and he turned stand up, and very funny.
Turned stand up.
But and he was in New York for a long time, and then he had a kid and went back to Maine.
Right.
I think. Or went back to raise his kid.
Oh, nice.
I don't understand that kind of sacrifice.
That's amazing.
I take my kid to gigs with me. Listen, you'll live my life and you'll like it.
You'll like it.
Now sell mommy's shirts.
You have the rest of your life to live your life.
That's right.
Wait until you're 18. And your Aunt Jackie take you to Amsterdam. Anyway, so
And
yeah.
the noodly women, keep him away.
hey,
from
how
that.
are we how
on
are we
time?
doing? 40.
Jeez.
Let's do the comic of the week, ladies and
I can't
gentlemen.
believe we haven't done her before.
Right.
Yamaneika Saunders.
Yamaneika Saunders, you guys. I was on a rabbit hole of Yamaneika Saunders.
Yeah, she's very funny.
Because
Yes.
she's doing Clusterfest.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
When's
what's her-
Clusterfest? Where is it?
It's in San Francisco.
Where?
Punchline
Punchline or Cobb's or?
I don't know.
Both?
The first weekend of June. It's
Okay.
like June 1st
It's got to
through
be
the
at
3rd.
a comedy club, right?
I think it's at different venues all
Oh,
over
I
the
see.
place.
Okay.
Sort of like Sketchfest.
Okay.
But go to clusterfest.com
Yeah.
and I'm doing it. Yamaneika is doing it.
Is it a Comedy Central thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And then there's a do you know her? Oh, you're gonna look it up. So it's probably just Yamaneika. I can't imagine she went with Yamaneika Saunders. But watching her sets, it was by the 3rd set, I was like, oh, I see what she's doing, because she's aggressive and can be really dirty, but it's cumulative. It's like great comics, you know, where you watch it and you don't get it, you get it, and then
Wait, you didn't get it for 2 videos?
No, I got it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I got what she was doing, and I thought they were funny jokes.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the arc, and it was by the 3rd video I was like, I was psyched. Which guess what? She could give a shit, right? It doesn't have anything.
She's a hilarious murderer.
Yeah.
And also, I remember.
It's at Yamaneika. Okay, how do you spell it? YAM. EN, and it'll be in
We'll
the
have
notes.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
we have a website. Jackie and Laurie show.
Guess who made it? Laurie. So
I went to Weebly.
Yep.
My own site was done with Weebly, so I think I had one more free site on it. So I grabbed our domain, and then made a site. So it's very bare bones, and but and I have a Yamaneika story. Let's remind me to get back to it. You can buy our merch on the site.
There's a couple of
Some of you haven't. Hey, I see my book numbers. I don't have as many purchases as I have downloaders of this free content.
And if you have bought Dead People Suck, it turns out Shitty Mom also available.
Yes.
So knock yourselves out.
Also, I opened an eBay store, and I linked to those, I think, on my website, where if you want a signed copy of Dead People Suck or a signed copy of Shitty Mom in time for Mother's Day,
Right.
you can order them on eBay. It's $25 plus shipping. And then
just think
I
Dead
will
People
sign
Suck
it.
will be perfect for Father's Day.
Yeah. I will sign it to you and mail it to you personally. I won't even
I
let
don't
my
know why
mom
you're
mail
celebrating that. I do that all the time for Dork Forest.
it. Dude, I'm trying to dress it up a little bit.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so
trying to sell something here.
Kilmartin's fulfilling her own orders, you guys.
Yeah, but you
What?
can know what.
Oh, you like the photo? It's someone made that.
Tammy Jo Deeren.
Oh, Tammy Jo made that.
She put
That's
us
right.
in astronaut
Yeah,
outfits.
she photoshopped us with astronaut heads.
But
astronaut outfits.
you have to know, when I do this, I'm taking time away from my son, so that makes it extra valuable. That you
Did you link our websites on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every book that I send you that's signed to you is a hug that my son didn't receive. So it makes it extra
really,
valuable.
Matter of fact, everybody. Do you know that 300 million people should do that so that that boy does not get hugged 300 million times. Did you, in Waukegan, Maria announced that she took out a restraining order on Donald Trump. She did it online. It was $40.
Hilarious.
She said, if we all do it,
that's great.
You'll have to leave.
Oh my God.
And so she took out a restraining order.
Oh my God. Hey, Scott Walker is maybe losing power?
Yeah, maybe. It couldn't happen to a nicer piece of shit. Yeah, he's
Horrible
a horrible,
guy.
horrible human being. Where I went to college,
Yeah.
he's gutted it. He's gutted the University of Wisconsin
Jesus.
system. And I loathe and despise him with the power of the sun. And Paul Ryan, of course, also from Wisconsin, is not going to run for re-election.
I fucking hope all his hair falls out.
I wish he would
And worse
live
things as well.
underneath the toxic waste dump that is Janesville, Wisconsin.
But every time he's out with his family, someone should yell at him.
Oh, I think... But
sorry, the kids need to
he's
suffer.
never returning to Janesville, Wisconsin. He barely goes there now. Do you know who's from Janesville? Comedy-wise, is Pete Lee and Andy Smith.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're both from Janesville.
That's a pretty good output that almost offsets Paul Ryan.
Almost, but nobody hates Paul Ryan more than Andy Smith.
Sure.
She's like, I can't believe he's from where I'm from, but he's just going to go to some $1 million think tank and hope that we all forget what a horrible human being he is. But we won't. We won't ever forget.
Yamaneika Saunders.
Yamaneika Saunders told the story.
So then it's not a great story, but I was at the stand. And she's at a table with a couple other female comics that I kind of know, but not really because they're younger than me. Mm-hmm. And they're all just talking and having a good time. And I'm like, that's when I realized, they all know each other.
Yeah.
And they do gigs together. And they hang out. And
Wow.
they don't greet each other like, hey, I haven't seen you in a year because I've only been working with men. And then I realized, it's different now.
It is. That is great.
Yeah. It was interesting to notice that.
I was
all.
looking through some old photos and I found that I did a 9-week run in Australia in 2005.
Oh my God, that
where
sounds
I
like
traveled around.
heaven.
It was and it wasn't in the way that it was too long. That was the last year they let anyone do the full 9-week road run.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that associated with the festival or something?
Melbourne Comedy, the
Okay.
Road Comedy Festival. And I'd love to go back and just do the one in Melbourne for a month.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they're letting people do the full month unless you're Australian.
Right.
Because people are just doing 2 weeks at a crack now.
Oh, yeah.
But,
really?
Yeah.
When is it?
I think it's in April.
Oh, okay.
Or, maybe March.
It takes 4 days to fly there, though.
It takes a long time to fly there. But it was a series of, the first 4 weeks was with mostly Australian comics, and the last 4 weeks were with mostly international comics. And so I posted a bunch of pictures that I found of it, and everyone's like, are you the only woman on that tour? And I was like, oh, yeah. I was the only woman on that tour. The tour guide was a woman, the woman who managed the tour manager, and she was really cool. But it was
and how
all
many
dudes.
were you?
What?
How many of them were you?
There were 5 comics.
Okay.
And so the first 4 weeks were very young Australian comics. So we were driving the car and they were riffing on everything.
Oh, God.
I was like, you're
my
killing me
God.
with the road sign riffing.
Just prove you're funny on stage, please, and then you could be silent in the car.
Are you reading anything? Talk to me about anything. Are you watching any television? It's you got.
Oh, my God.
How's your dad?
Slow children, watch out, guys, because oh man.
Oh my God!
Do you know Jim Samuels? He was this
met him.
San Francisco comic.
Yeah.
He died a couple years ago. He had he had HIV, and
Okay.
but he was like one of the earlier. I guess he wasn't famous. He's famous to me,
Right.
But he was gay, but he wasn't out on stage.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was just like that was that time,
Yeah.
Very few. I mean, if you look at people that were out, Margaret Gomez was out really early. I mean, it's so brave when you.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know if it's brave now, or I mean, I guess it's.
Is it brave to stay in the closet now? Maybe it's brave to not be out now.
Maybe, but anyway, he famously had a thing about signs, and he kind of like. He did it immediate. Like, it's like, oh, you can't do that. He's done every sign, and you can't. I think Bill Engvall had may have like bit off of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Which are, I don't know.
I don't know. Sign comedy. I mean, the parallel.
But if you can't talk about your personal life, which if you're
if you're in the closet somehow,
in gay comic, you can't. You're going to be strictly observational.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It was. I heard Greg Barrett. Now, this is interesting. I know April Macy has a joke about powdering your balls. Guys need to powder their balls as
No
they get
segue
older.
needed for this one. What?
Well, it's because Greg Barrett the other night was working on a bit about powdering his balls and how he didn't know that he was going to have to as he got older talcum powder his balls because his balls stick to his leg or something like that.
I didn't know that was a concern for any man.
Weird.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've been hearing, because April did that joke and I swear to God I heard that somebody talking about it in the 80s and then in the 90s. I've heard two other, and I can't remember their names, and April's take on it is different than Greg's take on it, which is different than the other two takes on it.
Sure.
But I've heard other people talk about how testicles will stick to the side of the person's leg, and the person would be a man. Anyway, so because they're the ones who have testicles. So, but Greg was talking about how he'd never heard it, and now you just said that you've never heard You've never heard that premise?
I guess I almost thought it was a made up premise. I didn't know that was an actual thing guys had to do.
Right.
I thought it was similar to, I don't know, like, I don't know. It's not my world.
Well, no.
I'll have to trust you if you tell me you need to do that.
What about, have you heard this premise before? You've heard the premise. So Kyle Clark.
I wouldn't talcum powder causes ovarian cancer in women. Now, obviously, guys don't have ovaries and they don't have anything to slip in there, except you have an anus. And if talcum powder causes ovarian cancer in women, what's it going to do to your anus?
Well, aren't testicles the male version of ovaries?
Yeah, but there's no entryway.
Okay,
there's no any part.
Right. They're sealed.
But they have
for my pleasure.
I'm just saying. I don't think talcum powder is a good thing. Maybe sugar. Put sugar on your balls instead. That's good for your wife.
Sugar your balls. I saw Matt Donaher last night, and he was doing this thing about how he likes to eat
sugared balls. Is that what reminded you?
Okay. Edible panties.
Okay,
and then he has a punchline.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I think I know that joke.
Yeah,
it's
he
funny.
might have did it on Conan.
Yeah,
very funny.
I think he did.
He thinks that we should write a book together, and I laughed and laughed because. He's not wrong. We should write a book together, but why don't I write the first draft and you write the following 6 drafts? And so that'd be amazing. I finished the second draft of my comic book.
Oh, hey, cool.
Yeah, and you know who might draw it, and I don't know if I should jinx it, but Eric Powell. You don't know who Eric Powell is. Do you know who Eric Powell is? Yeah,
Kyle's head just got giant, and Kyle is 10 feet tall, so his head is already big.
Right.
I need to replace a wall in my garage.
Yeah, he writes and draws the Goon, which is a sort of a hillbilly, and hillbilly.
Yeah,
and he does really good work with swears. It's cartoony but dark, and it's so cool looking.
Oh, neat.
And I would my mind would be blown. But the other two artists that the editor suggested are also great. And then I suggested the guy who draws Ms. Marvel, who is Latino and whose name is escaping me, whatever. But he's really, because the story that I'm doing is so dark that the editor was like, maybe a cartoony drawer. And I was like, okay, I mean, you're the pro. And so, but I was psyched because it means that I've actually done 2 drafts of something that someone else asked for, and then I submitted it.
Yay!
I've done a thing for someone else. Yeah, I've never done such a thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the only things I've ever finished are jokes and albums. So jokes and albums I can do. And I'm looking forward to doing a lot of longer sets the rest of this year.
Oh yeah,
because I want to work on the new album.
Yeah, I think I'm almost have 45. That's
for a new album
can stand.
Yeah,
that's that I haven't done on my old one, which I already hate. I hate my whole first. It
Well,
just,
but
I want it to go away.
But 45 jokes
I want to
about
take
my
it off the
dad.
internet.
You're
Oh
gonna,
yeah, that thing.
But you're going to rip that and turn that into an album,
That
right?
that's available for streaming. The documentary part where it's like
With the
hospice
interviews?
footage,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not on it.
It's just the jokes, right?
It's just the jokes, yeah.
But that's available for streaming. Is that
Yeah,
linked on
that's
the
on
website?
iTunes. Oh no, I should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's neat.
Yeah. Okay.
And is that register on Sound Exchange?
Yeah, I just
Pardon me.
registered it.
Just checking. Just check.
Well, dude, I know how much money you're making on Sound Exchange.
It's
I'm like,
passive income. You want to register your shit on Sound Exchange.
yeah, that's
Anyway.
free money.
Yeah, it's it's just it's yours,
Mm-hmm.
so you should definitely be getting it. I don't think Maria's registered any of her albums on Sound Exchange.
So
And
it's
I was
just
like,
sitting in a bank.
Yeah, so it's just sitting there, someone else earning the interest, and I was like, "Well, can I register it? How do you feel
Why do
about
you
that?"
tell her husband if she won't do this?
Well, he's a fine artist.
They're both like
They're-
whatever.
They're the same person.
Oh, no.
it's hilarious.
Oh no,
they're
they
adorable.
They need to have a child that's like
They need to hire Alex.
has
P.
an
Keaton.
accounting personality.
Yes, they
Alex P. Keaton.
need-
Yes.
they need to get themselves a third party.
How much time have we done? Oh my god.
This has gone well.
Yes.
Yes. So and then we're doing a live episode for the next episode, and that will be next Saturday at this coming Saturday
Yeah. At in
Austin, Texas, at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival.
Yes. You could,
And
if you're at Moon Tower, you could find it. Otherwise, we don't expect you.
do you
to
know my Dork
drive
Forest
over.
is going to be a panel Dork Forest
With?
the live with Janelle James, Aaron Foley, and Martha Kelly.
Oh my god. That is a murderer's row right there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
And I've emailed them all to say, what is your dorkdom? And received no answers.
They're comics.
They're comics.
Comics don't reply to emails that require anything besides yes, I'll be there.
I have a great live episode that I did at Bridgetown with Guy Branum, Karen Kilgariff,
Yeah.
and Amber Preston.
Yeah.
Another murder.
Yes.
Yeah, row of stand-up. And I said none of them answered. None of them answered. None of them answered. And I was like, the first person who answers, that's the topic. And it was Guy Branum, and his topic was feminism.
Interesting.
And we ended up talking about tampons at one point, and Karen Kilgariff was like, I have never discussed my period ever, and not certainly this much. And but by the way, those episodes are available, they're premium episodes on my Bandcamp.
Does that
go to that?
Do people do that?
People do. They're only $2, and there's a bunch of free content on my Bandcamp as well.
Yeah.
It's just the dorkforest.bandcamp.
How much do you make? Off of
$2. I think I get $1.14 per
Wow.
episode.
And how many people?
12.
I'm asking your actual
11.
income from this
Oh,
monthly.
actually, I received.
Stop obfuscating.
Someone bought something off of Cafe Press the other day, and I made $26. And I emailed Cafe Press, and I was like, "Is this still? What's happening?" And so, essentially, I spent like a couple of hours putting
Give me those links. I'll put them on our new site.
Put them on the new site.
It's got to be a Jackie and Laurie hub.
That's it.
It's not the Jackie and Laurie show. It's Jackie and Laurie show.
Just Jackie and Laurie show.
Yeah, I should buy the and have it also forward to
And,
whatever to our Weebly page.
don't get down that rabbit hole, because
Yeah, I know.
I own
There's too
several.
many-
I own the
it's unnecessary.
dorkforest.com.
Yeah.
Dorkforest.com. It was too
People
much.
just Google and click on the Google link.
You'll figure it
They
out.
don't type it in the
Right.
in the browser anymore.
People have mad skills.
Yes.
It's all going to work out. And so, are you working this week, Kyle? What are you doing? All right, just working sets if you can. The Talking Dead, and then getting up if you can. I'm doing. Judah Friedlander texted me in the night, like at 11 o'clock, and then at 1 o'clock, and then at 3
That's like
o'clock.
3 a.m. his time too, unless he's out here. Okay,
He's
he didn't move here, did he?
No, I think he's just in town. He's doing Dynasty Typewriter tonight, and he was like, "Will you
I'm
open
doing
for
that
me?"
in Oh, cool. Are you going to?
Yeah.
That's great. I'm doing that in these are two local gigs. April 18th, I'm at Dynasty Typewriter with Team Coco.
Nice.
And Moses
wow.
Storm is
Yeah.
going to host it, and it's me, Pete Holmes, Matt
amazing
Brauger,
comics.
and somebody Bronger and somebody. Oh shit, I forgot the last
Another
person.
guy.
Yeah. Mhm. But
kidding.
we're all doing a show at the Dynasty Typewriter, which
Okay.
is a super cool venue that Jamie Flam opened.
Right, in the
a while
Hayworth.
ago.
Yeah.
It's really gorgeous.
On Wilshire.
I
Yeah.
bought a chair.
Oh, did you? Do you have
yeah,
a chair
I
that
did.
has your name on it?
It has my It has my last name on it. It's dedicated to my parent. I think it's Ron and Joanne.
You know your
Kilmartin
mom's
chair.
still alive. You've dedicated.
I'm trying, Jackie. I'm doing everything I can legally. I'm doing everything I can to change that situation.
I
But
Yeah.
and then the 19th,
April.
I'm at Flappers doing a benefit for an elementary school that my
Okay.
son goes to. So if you're in LA and you want to go on the 19th, it's odd. Myself and Carlos Alazraki, who I started stand up with in the Bay Area, both our kids go to the same school.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because he lives down the street.
Yeah.
and
April-
Jamie Kaler also. We're all doing a show for, and I don't want to say the name of the school, but if you want to show up, we figure it out.
O.J. Simpson Memorial. And it's April what?
19th, yeah.
19th
The
at
day,
Flappers.
the
Burbank.
anniversary of.
Is it at Flappers?
Yes,
Burbank?
at Flappers. It's the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing, and I think that's Adolf Hitler's birthday as well. So I insisted on that date.
I'm doing Eric Dedurian's podcast on April 24th.
Yeah.
And he said, can you do April 24th? And I emailed him back and I said, why does that date sound familiar? Well, I'll tell you why it sounds familiar. It's Armo Marty Day. It's Armenian Martyrs Day.
Oh.
And, so you've been seeing the flags.
I think every day's Armenian Martyr Day when you're on the pod.
Oh, I think not. I think not. I have built my own cross. I will rise myself upon it, which is an old Dana Gould bit. I'm headlining Burbank Flappers in May,
Oh, cool.
11-12. So
Nice.
yeah, and Carmen Morales is gonna.
I might stop
feature
by and
for
sell
me.
some books after the show.
You wanna? She can't feature on the Saturday. I asked Augie Smith if he wanted to, so I don't
I
know.
think I'm in town because I was supposed to do Lane Moore's Tinder thing, and then she moved it to New York or something. So I think
wow.
I'm in town that week because it's Mother's Day's the 13th.
Do you want to feature for me?
Yeah.
Well, I'll find out. I mean, I offered it to Augie, so I'll ask him if that
That's
happens.
okay.
But he might be on the road. So
Okay.
if he isn't, that'd be hilarious.
That would be fun.
Then
Yeah.
that'd be hilarious. What are you doing, Kyle? Maybe you could. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
We'll figure it. All right, guys.
Wait, how much time have we done?
We are at an hour.
May 11 and 12. Thanks for tuning in.
Buy our stuff. Go to our website. Buy our stuff. Some of you haven't
committed.
Some of you haven't done what you promised you would. I don't know how you sleep at night. Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.